Today we'll be making a card that is actually a framed watercolor still life. I'm going to begin with a set of stackable background dies by Pears Design. The pattern is called Maxwell. I've die cut it out of black, dark brown and craft cardstock. You can see how they work together. Next I'm going to clip off the center of the lattice, leaving only the frame. And I will do it to all the 3 frames. If you are interested in the tools and supplies I'm using, they are listed in the description below the video as well as on my blog. I'm using a nail file to kind of sand the inner edge of the frame and make the edge straight and smooth. Again, I'll do it to all 3 frames. Now I can assemble the frame by sticking all 3 pieces one on top of another. I'm using liquid glue that I'm quite used to, but it is also allowing me to adjust the die cuts before the glue is dry. My focal image will be those pears from Harvest Pears die set by Poppy Stamps. I've die cut them out of watercolor paper, and for coloring them I'm going to use Peerless watercolors. First I'm coloring all pears yellow just to give them more warmth, and when this first layer is dry I'm going to re-wet the surface of the pears and drop in more colors, some yellow, olive green, ecru and red. If I need to intensify the colors, I just wait for the previous layer to dry and then apply more color on top. For the shading I'm using a darker brown color, which is warm sepia. When I'm done with the coloring, I'm going to trace the frame on the inside with a pencil. I'm using one of the chipboard note cards by Pears. To create my background, I'm squeezing some of the ground espresso distress ink onto the plate, spritzing it with water and then applying it onto the card base with a plastic bag. This will create splattered effect. No color is bleeding through because this note card is quite thick. I'm using a paper doily to create a crochet tablecloth. I'm just trimming it to fit into the frame and then I will erase all the pencil marks and stick down the doily. Next I am adhering my layered frame onto the card base. It is standard A2 size, so it covers the entire card front. I'm sticking all the pears into the frame, starting from the corners and moving to the center. Now it's time to add some drop shadows. I'm using warm sepia for it again. If the edge of the shadow is too hard, I'm going over it with a damp brush to soften it. I'm also adding some shadows below the pears. To add some highlights, I'm using a white gel pen. The card is nearly finished now. I just feel that those pears should stand out a little bit more, and the solution I have found is darkening the frame a little bit. So I'm going to use a walnut stain distress stain and a thin detailer brush to simply color in all the squares of the frame. And this will finish my card for today. Here are some more tutorials that you might like to watch. Thank you so much for visiting, and I hope to see you again in a couple of days.